Hey everybody, here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Splatoon 2. In the previous episode, we played through the platform madhouse, Please Mind the Gap, and we also played the transfer Jackson intersection of the soul. And today's episode, we're going to be moving onward to better, brighter things. After that not so great experience in a heavy splat lane level, we're moving on towards Paradise Lanes. Get the ball rolling. I could really use some more data on this weapon. Can you use it for a bit? Alright, now we're using the roller for a bowling ball level. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while. What I really love about Splatoon 2, more so than the first game, is that if there's a good idea in this game, you don't see it just once. So this is a really fun gameplay gimmick the first time we saw it. And now we're using it again, but this time we have a different weapon, so it's a bit of a different experience this time around. So this is something that I absolutely love about this game. This perfectly embodies this mindset that any good idea in Splatoon 2 is never used just once. So we're going to see more examples of that as the Let's Play goes on. So just keep that in mind as we go further into the project. But as for now, we have the Inkstorm, and boom! That's a very weird way to pronounce the word storm. I have no idea what kind of accent that was. Alright then, so let's go over here, and jump, and ignore the bowling ball. That was really close, wow. And you, let's continue on over here. Use the Seeker for speed running tactics. Whee! Maybe take a second before you rush into things. Time your jumps and go, go, go! Again, let's do it this way. And we want to be very careful about this because I remember when I was practicing for this level. Oh my goodness, that's a jukebox! I never saw a jukebox before! That's such a cute detail! Oh man, that's such a cute detail. Okay, I have a fun story about jukeboxes. Oh, it's actually that long of a story, but it's a very cute story. One of my favorite. There's another right there! How did I never notice those before? Okay, so I don't have a ton of experiences with jukeboxes, but I've always loved the idea of them. Is how you just go into a restaurant and pay like a quarter or something like that to play a great song. And one of my favorite restaurants in my old town that I used to live in had a jukebox. And I never actually got a chance to use it, but it just always felt nice of being in a room that had something like that. I just always wanted to use a jukebox and things like that. It just seemed like so much fun. And of course nowadays they had jukeboxes in today's restaurants. They'd probably be filled with a bunch of songs that I don't really know or don't care that much about. Because the thing is, I'm not that much of a fan of music nowadays. Like, I don't know who's popular nowadays or anything like that. I don't know, like, if you want an example, I've never listened to an Ariana Grande, blah, 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 I can't even say her name. I've never listened to an Ariana Grande, that's her name. I apologize for that. But, yeah, as popular as she is, I've never actually heard a song from her, like, ever. And I'm sure she's a great singer and all that, but just personally speaking, I like listening to my own, style of music, which is basically like 80s and 90s rock and Vocaloid music. So basically anything that resembles Bon Jovi and Hatsune Miku, that's my style of music. Zapfish just jumps ahead. Keep pushing. That was way too close for comfort. We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I should have aborted this one right there. But it was still worth it. Kind of. We got an unnecessarily epic moment, and unnecessarily epicness is my goal in life. It is my destiny. Alright then, let's go over here. And activate this thing. This is another really cool idea, continuing on from what I was saying earlier about any great idea in Splatoon 2 is not used just once. This is another great idea because these twirling thingies, so far we haven't really seen them a whole lot with non-charger based weapons, but now we're using them for rollers, and that's just a really cool idea. But now we're taking care of all that. I'm gonna tear this guy before we save the Zapfish, because I feel like it. This guy was looking at me funny. He destroyed already, there we go. Now we didn't care about that. It's time to save the Zapfish. Calamari Research Labs video log number 5628. This coffin-like device is a historical relic of the old world and is kept under a strict lock and key. I unplugged it by accident while cleaning the other day, but seems to still be running somehow. So in the first game, we learned that Judd came from a time capsule in the ancient world and was reawakened in the Inkling Society. And now we get to see a little bit more of the capsule that Judd was living in all those years. So that's a pretty interesting little detail. So, next level. Octoling workout, forge those muscles. These Octolings just don't quit. You know the drill. Let's get those little fishies back. And now we'll be playing the last of the Octoling levels in Octo Canyon. And this one is no joke, because the Octolings now all have the seaweed thingies on their head, meaning that they all have really high defense. So I highly recommend that you go to the Ammonites Enhancer and upgrade your weapons before coming to this area, but I don't need no Ammonites Enhancer, and mostly because I forgot to kind of do that before starting this recording session. I've only rated that for like the splatter shot or things like that, but none of that matters right now because we're now playing the last of the Octoling levels. It kind of bums me out, this last one, because I really enjoy these levels. They're just so much fun. And something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while is that the Octolings themselves, they have really great AI. They do a great job of teaching you how to handle very skilled players while also not being too difficult for younger gamers or inexperienced gamers. So this brings me to something that I kind of have to wonder why they don't do this in the game. So one thing that can be very problematic when you're playing in Splatoon is disconnects. This is nothing unique to Splatoon. Pretty much every online multiplayer game has some kind of a thing where people get upset when they play a game and then disconnect from the match or something like that, or they just have really bad internet and can't play or anything. So one thing that gets really depressing when you're playing this game is when you have a disconnect, because on your team, if somebody drops out of the match, then you're at a very severe disadvantage in the game, which can, even if it can be pretty exciting to end up winning the match anyway, even if you do have a disconnect, you're still at that very big disadvantage because you have one less team than the other player does. And if you win a match when the other team has somebody that disconnected, you feel a little bit guilty because you knew that they had a big disadvantage as well. So what I'm wondering is that both Splatoon games have had amazing AI for the Octolings. So why don't they have a system where if somebody disconnects, that Inkling is replaced with an AI controlled character? Like, it doesn't have to be like an amazing AI or anything like that. It could be like a dumbed down version of the Octoling AI, so that they at least have somebody there. But it's not like an overpowered character that makes it so that if the person with the AI has an AI character, they're basically going to win. Nothing like that. I'm just saying that why don't they have anything like that where they have an AI character controlling anybody that disconnects? That's just something that I don't really get. Like, I'm pretty sure other Nintendo games have done that. Like, I want to say Smash Brothers has that to a degree. I remember that being a thing in Smash Brothers 4, but I may be remembering wrong because it's been a while since I played that game. But still, just something that I think about from time to time. And one more thing that I'd like to talk about is this stage looks absolutely gorgeous at night. I love how Muscle Forge Fitness looks in general. This is one of my more personal favorite stages in the game. But it just looks so gorgeous in the nighttime setting. Well, this is exactly nighttime, but you know what I'm saying. Alright, so we got another crusty bucket ticket thing. I don't remember off the top of my head where the last... Oh, it's over there. There we go. There's one more left. And we're soon going to be done forever with the Octoling levels. So, everybody in the audience, say goodbye to the Octolings. Oh, Jed, when your capsule opens in the future, you may find yourself alone. Should that be the case, I ask you to re-energize the capsule once again. Oh, dearest Jed, I only hope that you can forgive me for all I've put you through. So in the first game, we found out that Judd was put into a time capsule to be reawakened in the modern society. Now we know where little Judd came from. And one more thing that I'd like to talk about before we end off the Octo Canyon portion of this video is a really fun Easter egg that I'm really glad returned to this game. Keep an eye out for the bottom corner of the book. I just love that so much. It's such a cute little Easter egg. They had something like that with Octo Valley as well in the first game, and I'm really glad that that returned in the sequel. But the final boss is just up ahead, and we'll be saving that for the next episode. So now let's move on to the online multiplayer portions of this video. Hello, you beautiful burritos, and welcome to the magical land of alternate save file. In today's journey through the magical land of alternate save file, we are playing Clam Blitz on Murray Towers. We've already done this before in the Let's Play, but I want to do it again for two reasons. One, I love Murray Towers, and B, I love Clam Blitz, and some kind of other word for three. The other stage in this rotation we haven't seen yet, and I didn't really feel like waiting around for another Clam Blitz rotation to record footage, so I figured we're just gonna play more Towers. This stage is way too awesome. So, the thing I really like about Murray Towers is that this isn't one of those stages where it really feels like it's one-sided when you're playing on Clam Blitz, because there are plenty of ways that you can get to the other side's basket, and it's just a really fun time all around. I know a lot of people don't really care that much for Murray Towers, and I don't understand why, but it's still a really fun stage in my personal opinion. So, as I mentioned in the past, a couple strategies I could recommend for Clam Blitz. The big one that I could recommend is be sure to take the time at the beginning of the match to cover the ground in your own turf, because if the clams spawn on your colored ink, you can see it on your map, so this makes it very easy for you to just open up your map real quick, see where a bunch of clams are, and go for that. Alright, so we're picking up some more clams. That's pretty awesome. I know this is kind of an old Let's Play joke, and a lot of people probably aren't going to get this, but whenever I see those clams, I can't help but think of Josh Jepson. Alright, so their barrier is back up, which means that they now have a football, which is not very pleasant at all. Yes, I really do love Clam Blitz, because there's just so much strategy for this one, and this is definitely one of the more deeper online multiplayer modes. Like, the other ones are fun, don't get me wrong, but there's also stages like, but when you have things like Rainmaker, where it's really just a simple capture the flag kind of mode. It's very nice to have a mode like this, so where it's a bit more deeper and first bear strategy and things like that. Those names right there, I know I talked about this in the past, but those names where they have some kind of lettering thingies within parentheses, I always get really nervous whenever I play against those people, because I've seen that naming style used in Splatoon tournaments, so I don't know if they're like big competitive gamers or anything like that. It would be awesome to play in an official Splatoon tournament someday, but I'm nowhere near good enough for that. But it would be fun to try out one day. And that right there, I got super proud of that. I even recorded the that footage with the switch capture button. But I got so proud of that moment because I threw a clam right in front of somebody when they needed just one more. And then we were able to open the basket. It was such a beautiful sight and it was awesome. So, yeah, whenever you see that one of your fellow teammates needs an additional clam, be sure to throw it at them, because even though you're not going to be carrying the football, somebody will, and you can play support for them, and that's a really good thing, because the more people protecting the person with the football, the better. It's also a good strategy to have multiple people with footballs, because the thing with that is that means that you're adding more pressure onto the other opponents to figure out which one is the priority, because chances are the other team is a bit more spread out, and they're doing a similar strategy. So they're gonna be stumbled for a bit trying to figure out, okay, which one do I need to go to first? And by the time that they've taken out the other football, there's another one already available to go open up the basket. So this is something that I was really have a lot of fun with whenever I play Clan Blitz. Oh no, we lost the lead, whatever we gotta do. Luckily, after the barrier is closed up again, we can get the football and super jump over to our buddy. You know, I'm really hoping that... this is gonna sound kind of weird for a moment, but I'm really hoping people watch this Let's Play and figure out that you can't super jump with the football. Because I still see a lot of people in the Splatoon 2 community not entirely sure if they can do that. Because what I assume happened is that so many people are so used to Rainmaker, and that you can't super jump the Rainmaker, but you can this Clan Blitz football. Also, Inkling has the cutest voice ever. And now we've conquered Clan Blitz! Bow down before your ruler! And most valuable team member on Murray Towers on Clan Blitz! Woo! Clap for joy. And now, we have one final match for the online multiplayer portions of Octo Canyon. I didn't do this intentionally, but this is also the very last stage that we have not yet seen at all in the online multiplayer portions of this game. I did do it on purpose, but poor Mackerel just had to be the one that evaded me whenever I had the time to record this Let's Play. So, as you may or may not know, I have some not exactly positive opinions on Port Mackerel.
Port Mackerel. Okay. In case you guys couldn't tell by my tone of voice right there, I hate Port Macro with every fiber of my being. Port Macro is my least favorite stage in Splatoon.
Yeah, that basically sums it up right there. So, Port Mackerel was my least favorite stage in the original Splatoon because the thing was, it felt very claustrophobic playing this one, and also the big gameplay gimmick also felt kind of pointless because the big idea with Port Mackerel is that you have all these walls and things like that you can sneak around opponents with, but you can already hide in your ink, so it wasn't really all that fun trying to sneak around corners and things like that. And also just feels like one of those stages where if you're far behind and the other team it has such a big advantage over you, it feels like one of those situations where there's just nothing you can do. The thing with Splatoon 2, on the other hand, is that over my course of playing Splatoon 2, I've been kind of warming up to this stage. Now, I don't like it, still don't like it, it's still one of my least favorite stages in the game, but I've been kind of warming up to it. So, it might also help with the fact that this is no longer my least favorite stage in the Splatoon series. In the grand scheme of things, the original Port Macro from the first game is still my least favorite overall, but in Splatoon 2 specifically, the least favorite stage has to go to Humpback Pump Track, because we've already talked about my opinions on that one, where there's like really nowhere to run in that stage. It's kind of like the opposite problem with this one, where Port Macro, there's too many places to hide, and it gets very nerve-wracking trying to play this stage. In Humpback Pump Track, there's nowhere to hide at all. This stage is pretty fun to play on Clown Blitz, I will give it that, because of the open nature and all the hallways does kind of leave an intimidating sense of, do I risk the basket and go this way because they know that I'm there, because they can see where the football is going. So it just adds a little bit of an interesting, suspenseful feeling whenever you're playing through this mode. And also another thing that I gotta say is that they also added sponges onto Port Mackerel, and that's kind of interesting. We have seen sponges before in the single-player campaign for this game, so it is really nice that they continued adding the cool gameplay mechanics from the story mode into the online multiplayer. So as I mentioned plenty of times in the past, it's also, I highly recommend going into Recon for the stage in particular, because there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs in this stage as well, and I know I say that every time that I bring up a Recon mode, but you can see those cute little jellyfish creatures with building hats and things like that. And another really cool Easter egg in this game is that one of the cool things about Splatoon is that you can see landmarks from different stages in other stages. Like, for example, the Ferris wheel on Wahoo World, you can see that in the reef. So I believe one of the cranes on Port Mackerel can be seen on Sturgeon Shipyard. Might not have that backwards, but I don't remember which one off the top of my head. But I know one of the landmarks from one of the stages can be seen in the other one, and it is really cool. I love it when games do that. It's kind of like how in Super Mario Sunshine, how you can see things like the Corona Mountain from Delfino Plaza, or Pina Park from Delfino Plaza. It's just a really cool thing. I love it when games do that. From the left, we've broken their barrier, so can we take the lead? But now we've taken the lead! Whee! Isn't that exciting? Are they the best at building up suspense? So one thing that I will say is that if you're like me and you have a hard time not getting stressed out playing this stage because of how because of all the hiding places in this area, dualies are probably one of the better weapons to play with on this stage, because the dodge roll can make it so you can get out of the way quickly if somebody is hiding around a corner or something like that. Curling bombs are also really good on the stage as well, because they can create a linear path of ink for you to follow without you having to actually go down the hallway itself. It is really cool. And now we're out of overdone. So that was the very last of the online matches we're going to be showing off during Octo Canyon. And with all that being said, thank goodness we don't have to play poor Mackerel again. Is what I would be saying if I hadn't already committed to the idea of playing every single online multiplayer mode in every stage. That's going to be fun. But thank you all so much for watching this episode of Splatoon 2. Next episode will be the story finale. And until next time, leave the gear to you. Oh yeah.